to avoid the situation from happening again, this time I choose to let you guys actually be engaged in the practice of modular animations. So I'll have my little assistant. She's Ariana. Ariana, stand up please. Receive the big hands. Give her a big hand. She will be serving as the chair for WHL this year, so she is very qualified to be my assistant. So have you guys received the paper? You have a paper? Not yet. So Angela will pass it on to you. So once you receive the paper, write your favorite country on the paper. Just write one country, one of your favorite country on the paper. Your favorite country. Okay, are you guys done? Raise your hand if you're done. Raise your hand if you're done. Those are, put your hands down. Those are done. I'll give you another 1 minute. Okay. I assume that you're done with writing the country. We'll be having a little simulation of the roll call right now. Roll call. Okay. So this is what would actually happen. What would actually happen in the committee will be like this. Will the committee please come in order? The chair will now be entertaining the roll call. The country stand that is called upon, please raise your placard and state either present and president voting. So I'll randomly pick. Okay, Delegate of Egypt. So Delegate of Egypt, you have to pick. You have to raise your placard. You raise it like this, and then you say present or president voting. You raise your placard first. Okay, and then you say present or president voting. You choose one. Okay, then she's done. I know this done. I know that the delegate of Egypt is present. Okay, Delegate of Peru, would you please? Delegate of Peru. Present. The delegate of Peru is present. Delegate of Japan. Delegate of Japan. Choose one. Choose either president or president also. Delegate of Japan says she's present. Okay. Now that here we have Japan's proposal. Okay, delegate of Australia. Delegate of Australia is present. So this is what would be on the actual situation. Countries would state either president or president voting. I want to hear some countries state themselves as president voting. Delegate of Vietnam. Anyways, delegate of France. Try to say president voting because we're not hearing any president voting anyways. Delegate of the United States. Delegate of, there's no Taiwan in the United Nations. There's no Taiwan, but we have China. Delegate of China. President. Delegate of China is president. Delegate of Azerbaijan. Delegate of Azerbaijan is president also. Delegate of Korea. Delegate of Korea is president. Delegate of Canada. Delegate of Canada is president voting. So this is what will actually be like. Be quiet. So this is what would actually be like. The very important thing is that I'll speak Chinese. President， 如果你是 president 的话，你等下投票的时候，你就是可以投赞成、反对或中立。如果你是 president voting 的话，你就只能投赞成或反对，这样懂吗？这个不能投中立，这个可以投中立，就是差别在这里而已。不要觉得说 president voting 好像字比较长、比较难、比较多，其实还好，它就是等一下不能投中立而已。那 roll call 完之后，就是Ariana 试一试。
The roll call has now ended. The chair will now be entertaining the opening speech. The country's name being called upon, please line up beside the podium and deliver your speech one by one.
Okay, I'll repeat what she said. She said 5 countries have to line up here, the podium. 你知道 podium 是什么 ？podium 是讲台的意思，所以刚刚说 5 countries， 5个国家被叫到的5个国家要来这边排队，然后排这样排站，然后一个一个来讲他的 speech， 然后我就随便点我刚刚有听到的国家哦 ，Delegate of Japan, Australia, France, Azerbaijan, Canada. Line up there. Oh yeah, be quiet. Line up. I said Japan first, right? Japan. Who's Japan? So you're Japan, right? So this gentleman saying delegate Japan, and he would deliver his opening speech.
Hello, I'm the delegate. Japan.
Yeah. So let's pretend. Let's pretend he speaks for more than 50 seconds, and it's about reaching the 1 minute bar, and then you say thank you, and then what should you do? Should you return to your seat or you get back to the line? Yeah, so he would go back to the line. So the delegate Azerbaijan can be called. And I will not be announcing this. Azerbaijan has to know that he has to come. Okay? Delegate Azerbaijan, would you start? So very inspiring speech. Azerbaijan just finished his speech, and once you're done, what should you do? Yeah, go back. And then come another. Australia, here's a drill. Very professional. She just addressed the house. Don't move, don't move. Come here, come here. She's the only one that addressed the house. She's the only one that memorized that. She has to address the house. Address the house. Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, this is delegate of blah 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 speak. So before you speak of your speech, you have to say this in every speech. Every speech, you have to speak like this. Then good job. Next up we have the one with the jacket. The mask, the one with the mask. What country are you? France? Okay, France, okay. So he's done with her speech, blah 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 blah. She's done with her speech, blah 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 blah. Go back to her line. Next up we have, I think, Canada. Okay, she's done right. So she should return to her line. So 5 of the delegates is done with their speech. They're done with their speech. Okay, very, very important. Listen up close. Once they're done with their speech, they cannot just be moved back to their seats directly. They have to this thing is called rise and reply. Okay? Rise and reply. Take notes. Take notes. People take notes. Rise and reply. Rise and reply. Very, very important. Very, very important. Rise and reply. These 5 delegates standing in line, and they cannot go back to their seats before the rise and reply was entertained. Okay. Can you help me? Can you help me? Oh, okay. This is what the chair would do. Thank you, delegate, for your speech. The chair will now be entertaining the rise and reply. Are there any in the house? Are there any in the house? The delegate of Poland, you have to recognize.
The delegate of Poland is looking forward to cooperating with the delegate of France.
Wow, thank you. They're very professional. Very professional. So there should not only be one rise and reply. There should be multiple rise and reply. And then once all the rise and reply are done, you guys will return to your seats. And I will make an announcement. Oh, thank you, delegate. You will return to your seats. So this is how opening speech looks like. This is what it looks like. It is not hard, but it takes time to memorize the order, the procedure, and whatnot. Before, this is the second thing. The third thing, lobbying time. Before we go to not lobbying time, I want to introduce to you something. The thing that I keep banging, this thing is called gavel. Gavel in Chinese is called 议事锤。Like 在法院你们常看到嘛，法官在那边吵的时候，这是议事锤，英文叫 gavel. This thing that I'm wearing, that I'm putting on my neck, is called name tag. Name tag. This thing indicates your country. It has your country's flag, national flag, and your name. And this is very well made. This is prestige. Okay. And those things are called your national flag. Those will be provided to you, but you can't bring it home. And these things, this thing is called placard. Placard in Chinese is called 国家牌. Okay? So you guys know what it would be. Here's your country's name, DYNAMUN, your country's name, and your committee will be at the downside of the right. Okay? So every situation you will have to raise your placard, whether in roll call, opening speech, debates, and voting procedure. This thing will be used. So we cannot damage this. We cannot make it disappear or anything. But once the conference is done, once the conference is finished, this you can take it home. You can take the placard home. So I think you would want it to be kept in good position. Okay. I have to bang it over once. So we're done with the opening speech, right? Let's pretend that we're done with the opening speech. Next up, we have lobbying time. And this time, I'll bang my gavel, and then I'll say, "Will the committee please come in order?" The chair now announces that the opening speech time is now elapsed. Now we will be moving on to the time for lobbying time. During lobbying time, delegates you may walk around and discuss with other delegates, form blogs, and write draft resolutions. The chair now set the time for lobbying time as 90 minutes. Delegate, you may begin. So if you are listening to me, you know that during lobbying time, you guys can walk around, you guys can talk, you guys can use your laptop because you have to write your draft resolution. During lobbying time, you inform blog. Blog. What is blog? Blog, I have explained it last lesson. Blog is a collective of countries that gather around and having or sharing the same country stance or similar country stance. So one blog would usually have 10 to 15 countries. So make sure that each committee would have 2 blogs. One blog would have one main submitter and the rest would be co-submitters. The main submitter is a special job. A main submitter would have to prepare a main submitter speech. And during lobbying time, if you cannot find yourself a blog, you feel like you're isolated, then you could ask the chair, how should we address the problem? Okay, so this is what lobbying time looks like. Once the chair announces that set the lobbying time as 90 minutes, delegate you may begin. Then you guys can start the lobbying time. You guys can sort of move around and stuff. But I'm not letting you guys move around right now because you'll make a mess. So be directly moving on to debate time. During debate time, there are so many things to be memorized. And I now don't have so much time. So actually, before the debate time starts, we will have lunch time. You'll have your lunch. And once you're done with your lunch, once you're done eating, and then I'll pay the gavel. I'll say, will the committee please come to order? The chair will now be moving on to the debate time of PR 1.1, and the chair now set the debate time as 90 minutes. And the main submitter, would the main submitter please approach the podium and read out the operative clauses?
Honorable chairs and distinguished delegates, this is the delegate of Poland speaking. Blah, blah, blah.
So she's done with the reading of the operative clauses. Then the chair will announce. Delegate, you may begin your speech.
Blah, blah, blah.
So she's done with your speech, right? And now I'll ask. Thank you, delegate, for your speech. Is the delegate opening herself up to any points of information?
Any and all.
The delegate has opened herself up to any and all points of information. Are there any in the House? Delegate of Egypt and Peru, you have to recognize.
So Egypt is set up.
And then Egypt would ask her a question. And then you answer. And then you can sit down. And then Peru. And then please remain standing. I have to introduce to you a thing called follow-up. So if she has 2 questions to ask, then she could require for a follow-up after she's done asking the first question. So she say follow-up, and then I will say granted. Then you could continue asking, and then everyone will answer, and then you can sit down. So follow-up is like 接续性问题. That means I have something else to ask, but I can only ask 2 questions. There is no secondary follow-up. I need another delegate as an example. The delegate of Germany. Okay, can you ask her 1 question? Answer. Ask for a follow-up. Granted. Ask again. Reply. And then ask again. Then no. There's no secondary follow-up. So sit down. Same thing. There is no secondary follow-up since we don't want to give unfair privilege to certain delegates. Because if one delegate asks too many questions to one delegate, then it'd be unfair. So we want to avoid this thing to happen. So we would abandon the secondary follow-up. Okay. So this is the points of information thing. You're done this? Okay. So I would then ask the delegate on the stage. She's a speaker, but I will ask her. Thank you, delegate, for your speech. How the delegate likes to build. Does the delegate of France accept the deal? It's her right to say no. It's okay to say no. If she says no, then I will ask. Will the delegate yield her time back to the chair? Thank you, delegate. Okay. Here's another situation. If come here. The delegate, how the delegate likes to feel? Who's Japan? Who's Japan? Is Japan? You can try. Okay. Does the delegate of Japan accept the deal? Yes. That is in order. Then she will return to her seat, right? Then you will come here. Here. Okay, begin your speech. And then she's done with her speech, right? And then we'll do it again. Okay, we'll do it again. Take the delegate for her speech. Is the delegate open up to any points of information? The delegate has opened herself up to 1 point of information. Is there any in the house? Delegate of Australia, you have recognized. So, she asked some question. Ask some question. Just pretend she asked some meaningful question. Pretend she asked some meaningful question. Answer it. You ask for a follow-up. Granted. Yeah, ask again. Blah, blah, blah. Answer it again. Take a delegate. You can sit down. And then you remain here. Then I ask you, how would the delegate like to feel? She just accepted the yield from Poland. You're French, right? You're Japan. You're Japan. So Poland yield the time to Japan, but the Japan wanted yield the time to the United States. Is that acceptable? No, it's not acceptable. There's no secondary yield. So once a delegate yield his or her time to another delegate, the chair will not be asking the questions such as how would the delegate like to yield. Instead, the chair will be asking the question as, will the delegate yield her time or his time back to the chair? So, will the delegate yield her time back to the chair? Take the delegate, then you return to the seat. So, this is something that is important to know, to keep in mind. There's no secondary follow-up. And there's no secondary yield. Does anyone have questions? Does everybody understand? Is there questions? No? Okay. Question? Rights of reply, okay. Rights of reply is a little bit like, where's the chalk? It's a little bit like points of information. The only difference between rights of reply and points of information is that this is a question. This is a statement. The rights of reply has to end with the period. The points of information has to end with a question mark. Understand? Understand? Okay, I'll make an example. So, sit here. She's just done with her opening speech, and she get back to her line. And she's the last one among the 5 of the opening speech that I have called upon. So, those 5 have to deliver their opening speech, then I will entertain the rights of reply. Thank you, Delegate, for your speech. Are there any rights of reply in the House? So, Delegate of Australia, you have been recognized. And then, you're about to say to her something, but not ask her something. I'll make an example. The delegate of, I'm Germany, right? The delegate of Germany believes that what the delegate of Poland said was absolutely correct, and is looking forward to further cooperation with her. Thank you. So this is a statement. This is not a question, right? So this is rights of reply. Sit down. Come to the podium. The middle of the podium. Okay, your placard is here. Placard. And you're done with your speech. And then I'll ask you. Thank you, Delegate, for your speech. does the delegate open herself up to any points of information? The delegate has opened herself up to 2 points of information. Are there any in the house? Delegate of Peru, yeah, very nice. Okay, delegate of Peru would now ask her a question. So a question would be like, I'll make an example. Is the delegate aware of that the content of her speech is actually a little bit controversial? No. So no is the answer to your question. So just sit down, please. I asked a question to her. She would answer my question. So this is called a point of information. It's very different, very much different. It's very much different between the rest of the problem. Does that satisfy you? Thank you. Okay. Pop quiz right now. What's this called? What's this called? Play card. And this? Name tag. Name tag. This? 发出来有个意思是 correct, but in English, gavel. It's called gavel. What about this? Podium, correct. Very professional. This one, I have not introduced to you. What's it called? No. Book. What's a book? It's also It's actually a handbook. It has our information about the committee, the conference, and all have been listed on this handbook. You will be receiving one because everybody will have one, and don't lose it. It's very important. What about this? Flag. It's actually the national flag. National flag. Okay. So, another pop quiz. What can you take home when you're that card? Can you take this home? National flag, no. Your dream. And also, name tag. Name tag. And also, handbook. So these 3 are the things that you can take back home. Not the gavel, not the national flag, not those things. Okay. Roll call, we've done. Opening speech, we've done. Lobbying. Do you guys need a little bit simulation of the lobbying? Like a little practice of lobbying? Do you guys need it? Sure. I'll divide this entire room into 2 segments. From here, the line I draw here. The one on my left, you are 1 block. The one on my right, you're 1 block. Okay. And then this block we'll discuss together, and then this block we'll discuss together. This is called lobbying time. And during actual lobbying time, you guys can move around. You guys can talk. You guys can use laptop and any technology devices. So this is lobbying time. Debate. I introduced to you a little bit of the basic things. I introduced to you the basic things. So the next lesson we have, I'll be introduced to you some advanced procedure of debates. But those are hard, I have to admit. But you don't have to worry about it that much because via practices, debate will be familiarized by you, I believe. So debate, and then voting procedure. Here, I think we can try. So It says voting procedure, so it has to have a vote. But what are we voting on? Anyone? Do you guys know what are we voting on? Pardon? DR. Is that? Okay, yeah. We're voting on the DR. The DR was what we write during lobbying time. And then we submit the DR to the chairs. The chairs verify them, and then we will be debating on the DR. So after a series of debates, a heated series of debates, we will be moving on to vote for the DR. This is why the voting procedure is called the voting procedure. And during the time that we are voting, there are 3 options that you can choose. So there are 3 options: for, against, and abstain. For means 赞成, against 反对, abstain means 中立. Okay, so a little pop quiz right now. When you stated yourself as president, which one can you vote? Yeah, 3. If you state yourself as president, you can vote either for, against, or abstain. But if you state yourself as president voting, which one can you vote? For and against, correct. For and against. So if you state yourself as president voting, you cannot abstain from the vote. Let's try it one time. The entire committee will be separated into 3 sections. This, section 1. You guys, section 2, and you, section 3. So, I'll be asking you which one would you like to vote. And when I say those who wishes to vote for, please raise your placard high and firm. You can raise your paper and yeah. And then I'll ask against, and then I'll ask abstain. So let's try it once, okay? Those who wishes to vote for this DR, please raise your placard high and firm. In section 2 and section 3, you could as well raise your hand. Is there? Okay, and then I will announce section 1, and then I'll count the number. Section 1, let's say 3. Section 2, 4. Section 3, 0. And then I'll be asking those who wishes to vote against this DR, please raise your placard high and firm. Section 1, 1, section 2, 1, section 3, 5. Finally, I'll be asking those who chooses to abstain, please raise your placard high and firm. Section 1, 1, section 2, 1, section 3, 0. And then I will announce the results. I'll announce the results after I calculate how many for are there and against and abstention. And then the way I'm going to announce the result is with 4 for, 1 against, and 2 choosing to abstain. This draft resolution passes. Clapping is in order. Okay. Clap your hands. There's also another situation. If it does not pass, then I will announce with 1 for, 4 against, 2 choosing to abstain. This draft resolution does not pass. Clapping is not in order. Then you do not clap your hands, right? You do not clap your hands. So this is basic things. This is basic things of voting procedure. I'll show you something. I'll show you the website that we can use. But I need to connect to the. Just wait a minute. So this PowerPoint that I've made includes some of the website that I feel like is very useful for the preparation for model evaluations. So you could click on it and then look upon the information written on it. This one is about how to make a model UN resolution. So it's a draft resolution related website. It was separated into topics: how to write a resolution, heading, preambulatory clauses, and operative clauses. Amendments. You don't worry about amendments right now. I'm not introducing amendment this week. Maybe next week I will be introducing amendments. To get started. So this is very useful, I feel like. And this one? This is in Chinese. Awesome. So it has every information, every aspect of our committee rundown. It has roll call. It has opening speeches. It has lobbying, debates, note passing, amendments, point, motions, whatnot, and all these things. Those are in Chinese. So it's understandable, it's comprehensive, and it's very, very professional. If you would then just use some of your leisure time to actually view over the information written on it. It's very, very useful and very, very easy to understand. Yeah. This one also. Preambulatory and operating clauses. So you can see there's a lot of vocabulary words listed in alphabetical order on the display. These are the professional languages that you could use during a DR. In a DR, you have to use those professional expressions and those phrases. Those are very, very important. Yeah. Just take a look. Make sure you have time to take a look on it. And yeah, that's it. So I want to inquire about do you guys have any question? Just ask me right now. Because if you have questions? Yeah, you ask questions. Yeah, I'll post it on DYNAMUN.com. Oh, DYNAMUN.com. I can show you. Yeah, this is our website, DYNAMUN.com. So easy to remember, DYNAMUN.com. That's all. So, and here, there's every information you can find. Yeah, so many information. I'll put it on DYNAMUN.com, so don't worry about the access to the website that I've recommended. Other questions? Any questions? Jeff? The one in the middle? Those? You have questions? Don't have questions? In the back? Do not have questions. You have questions? You sure? Not yet? So maybe you want to ask questions but not now? Okay. What about those? Do you have questions? Do you have a question? The next training. The next training we will be moving on to the introduction to motion, points, and also amendment. Amendment is, in Chinese, amendment is called 修正案. And it is it's very commonly used in actual UN debate and conference. So it's really complicated, so I don't feel like it has to be included in my first lesson. So the second lesson, amendment, will be my main focus, and I'll introduce to you some points and motion as well. Okay? Other questions in the back? The juniors have questions? What about y'all? You have questions? No? Y'all means you all. So, do you have questions? No? You don't have questions? Now, end my lesson today. Thank you. Thank you very much.